Hi, this is Brian Jobe, Technical Trainer for Parts Now, bringing you another Parts Now tech tip. Today I have a 4300. We're going to be tackling a problem that has plagued this machines from the 4200 to the 4300, the 4250, 4350 even. Have you ever had one of these machines where you turn the power on and it comes up with a paper jam right off the bat? Well, let me tell you, what's causing that 9 times out of 10, it's going to be the PS2 sensor behind your Tray 1 assembly. It's not easy to get to, but this sensor rides on a shaft of your feed roller assembly, and it gets out of place sometimes gets stuck, and it causes that sensor to think there's paper stuck in there. So we're going to take it apart and show you what's going on with that and how to fix that. So let's go ahead and dig in. First of all, you're going to want to take your top cover off. So you come up, you're going to disconnect your toner disengaging arm. Of course, take your toner cartridge out. Okay? Once you have your disengaging arm disconnected, you'll take off your back side plate for your formatter right here. You're going to go ahead and open up that cavity because we're going to want to have that open to remove this cover. Okay, you're going to have 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 up under this back cover, okay? Once you get those out, open the back door. You should be able to lift up on this whole assembly just like so. Be careful, there is a wire right here. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a wire attached to your DC controller right here. We're going to pull up on that wire. Don't forget this when you reassemble it because your display won't work if you forget. So I will unplug it, lift off your top cover, and set it aside. Okay, once that's done, you have a release tab right behind your cover back here. You just kind of release it. It'll spring forward. Go ahead and open your front door. And if you'll just kind of wiggle this out, up and down, and rotate it out from the bottom, the whole cover comes off. Be aware, there is a switch that has to line up right here with a rod right in here. So you want to make sure those line up when you're reassembling it. Okay. Going to come around to this side. Got a release at the top here. I'm going to release that cover. Got another one right here at the front. We'll release that, rotate out, pull up. All right, now we're at the front cover. All right, I'm going to bring this in just a little bit so you can see a little closer what we're doing. That's better. All right. Right now, to get this door off, what we have to do is you see the tracks on either side right here. This track, you want to get that in the center. You want to get the pin right in the center of that track, so that has the least resistance. Then you can pull out on the track and in on the tray, and you're just separating that is all you're doing. Do the same thing on the other side. Once you've done that, your door is free. All you have to do is slide to the right, door comes off. Okay, your inner door, you're going to want to remove your envelope feeder cover. Then remove your cover right here. That's where your sensor flag is. You just pull out on that. If you'll rotate down on this, the left side will start to fall out. Once that falls out, watch that spring. There's a spring right there. It's going to want to fly. So you might even want to take that off and set it aside so you don't lose it. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and get the paper tray out of the way. All right, now we're looking at our Tray 1 assembly. This whole thing is your Tray 1 or manual feed bypass. This is what we're going to take off to get to the sensor. It's right behind here. Okay, so first of all, we have one little wire right here. You're going to unplug. It's a little purple wire. Okay, don't forget to plug that back in too. That's your sensor wire. Now, we have 3 screws on the front cover right here on the side, your right side front cover. Let's go ahead and remove those. Okay, once those screws are out, you should be able to remove this cover. All right, you can just lay it to the side because it has wires here attached. We don't need to remove those. All right, now we have 1 screw right here. Make sure these go back into the same spot you took them out of. So we have 1 there and 1 down below. If you'll notice, I dropped that one. I'll go back and get it later. But both of these bottom screws were longer than the top screws. So if you can see that, they're quite a bit longer. So you want to make sure the longer ones go in the bottoms. The shorter ones go in the top. Okay, there's one more right here. And then you have two sheet metal screws on the outside here we have to remove. Okay. Once that's done, your whole assembly is going to come off. Be careful, you do have a spring right here that's a grounding spring. You don't want to lose that. All right, now there's going to be some more wires over here. They usually have a little bit of play in them, but you don't want to pull too far. You don't want to tear that up. That's going to your pickup solenoid. All right, now we're looking at the shaft that I was telling you about. This is your feed roller shaft right here. This right here is your sensor. It's attached to the rod right here, or attached to the shaft, and it's spring-loaded back inside there. What happens is when a paper comes through, it'll get caught in a weird way, and that sensor flag will stick or get crooked, but something will happen there to cause that to stick. If you're careful and you have a spring hook, you can get a flashlight, you can look down that channel from the inside before you remove this, and you can pop up on that little black sensor. And sometimes you can get that released just by a spring hook. But if not, you'll need to take this cover off and check that sensor, because that's what's causing your paper jams. So that's your Parts Now Tech Tip. We would reassemble this, put it back together. Don't forget your plug-in at the top for your display. Don't forget your plug-in over here on the side. Screws go back in the correct holes. It's not that hard of a job, but you can actually get this up and running in the field pretty quickly. So this is Brian Joe bringing you another Parts Now Tech Tip.